Well, thank you all for being here. I call this press conference today to announce that I'm officially resigning my position as Simsbury First Selectman as of January 2nd, 2015. I have been proud and honored to serve the people of Simsbury for nearly 16 years. And I'm proud of the record and my ability to help Simsbury become one of the best places to live in Connecticut. It has been a joy and a privilege to personally serve with wonderful professional staff and fellow selectmen who appreciate the opportunity and obligation to serve the public and to maintain and protect the public trust. I have served with Republicans and Democrats alike who have put the town's best interests first and who have worked with me to innovate and to find ways to provide increasingly efficient services in a very difficult economic environment. This job has been personally one of the most positive experiences of my life. However, every once in a while, there's an event that occurs which is so significant and so wrong that you need to stand up and be counted. This is one of those times. The action taken last Monday by the Republican majority on the Board of Selectmen to cut my salary and to impact my pension affects me personally and financially. What is most troubling is that no matter what they say, the Republicans on this board ignored a consultant's report that the town paid for and instead blindsided me with a politically motivated abuse of power. That should trouble the people of Simsbury. While I believe the actions that they took are illegal and could expose the town to liability, I believe it is not in the town's best interest, nor is it my style to pursue legal action against the town that I love and I live in. My family and I have reluctantly concluded that the best course of action for me is to resign. The people of Simsbury should know that the recent action taken by the Republican majority on the Board of Selectmen sets a bad precedent and marks the first time in the history of this town that a public official's salary was cut midterm. In fact, the last Republican majority on the board increased a Republican first selectman's pay while in office 26% and increased the pension 25%. Now that they have a 4-seat majority again, they have cut a Democratic first selectman's salary by 35%. Will they increase the salary next time a Republican first selectman is elected? Regardless of what they might say, the message being sent by the Republican Party in Simsbury is that they will do what is politically expedient for them, whether it is arbitrary or not, whether it is harmful to others or not, or whether it is beneficial to the town or not. This is a blatant violation of public trust and their oaths to serve the town faithfully. These actions will certainly discourage other good people from seeking public office. We need to send a message that this conduct is not acceptable in this great town of Simsbury, where we stand as neighbors and friends. Thank you. Our meeting Monday to not allow midterm adjustments, and I won't have a conflict because it won't affect me, but I do think it's wrong, and I will be looking to pass an ordinance that would not allow this to happen again to someone else.
What's next for Mary Glassman?
I don't know. You know of any job opportunities?
We need an anchor, I think. But as far as benefits, you were talking about your retirement. How would it affect your retirement?
It would eliminate the defined benefit plan, which I currently participate in.
Eliminate it completely?
Yes, I would eliminate that program. It would allow a pension contribution plan, but I don't know if I'd be eligible for it since it's only 5 months left of my term. I don't know. No one asked me how it would affect me personally.
So if you served out another 5 months, you would be covered under the pension?
I don't know. I don't know how.
So you're doing this without even checking to see if you're...
No, I would. They're eliminating the defined pension plan as of July, which I participate in. I don't know how that affects my pension.
What other benefits are you entitled to now as you leave here on January 2nd?
Salary and just pension that I'm already vested in. But changing the pension midterm affects what I would do with.
So now, if you resign now, you
I
get
have
that.
preserved my pension.
You
Right.
preserve your pension?
Yes, I do.
So as far as your salary, from what I understand, it's been the same since 2007?
Yeah, so when I was first elected 16 years ago, I took a 10% pay cut. And since I came back into office in 2007, I have frozen voluntarily the first selectman salary. And I also was the one who spearheaded a consultant study of what the job should require and what we needed to do to professionalize town government. We've been implementing those recommendations.
Is it your understanding that your salary now is 115? 113. 113 is in line with other towns?
Yeah, towns of this size?
Yes, it is. It is in line, and I have a history of the first selectman's salary, and it's in a sense, it's unfair to me that someone would raise midterm salary of a Republican first selectman by 26%, and then midterm cut a Democratic selectman by 35%.
You said this is politically motivated. What are some of the seeds that were planted that led to this?
The person who's on the board of selectmen is my opponent who lost in the last election.
Yeah, was there any past instances in
there was
governing of the town that led to this?
Nothing. I was not consulted. I was not asked what the impact it would have on me. I was not asked.
Not retaliation for a past vote or anything of that nature?
So the Republican who ran against you in 2013 is the one who recommended and started.
She voted along with the other selectmen. Two other Republican selectmen.
Who is that?
Nancy Haas.
You said you're at 113 now. Where did they reduce it to?
75. I'm actually right now I'm at 113,850. No, I love this town. I know. I raised my family.
Ran for lieutenant. Was it once or twice? I thought it was twice. Everyone said once, but I knew better.
Let's see. I was CCM for 2013. I currently serve the Capital Regional Council government as chairman.
What is it you're currently
Chair of the Capital Regional Council government.
So some pretty scathing words by Ms. Glassman there. I guess your initial reaction to her accusations.
I disagree with her accusations. I absolutely respect her right to have her opinion, and it is absolutely her opinion. I have some paperwork that I'll share with you, which actually shows that the agenda item, which was to look at the Board of the first selectman's salary, was actually put on the agenda by Mary Glassman, and the amount was specified by her.
Well, she's not denying that. She said that she was aware of it and she had agreed to it. Why do it before she finishes her term?
Because these the jobs being done were changed this past July, and I really had a problem waiting until the following a year and a half, nearly a year and a half, to change that salary. That's my personal opinion. I don't know the reasons for the other selectmen and why they voted the way they did.
But how would it hurt Simsbury if you waited for the next election for these things to take effect?
For me personally, it was because we were waiting 18 months after an action was taken to take jobs, to take the salary away, and I didn't feel that was appropriate.
We're talking
My
about
personal.
$20,000, give or take. I mean, I'm not good with the numbers.
It's closer to 30-something, 36, 37.
But would that make that much of a difference in Simsbury's budget?
It may not, but to me, when you change somebody's job, the salary should change.
What do you say to what do you say to the people out there who came here today and supporters who feel that this is political and it's underhanded?
I don't believe it's political. I don't think it's underhanded. I respect, as I said earlier, the right for the difference of opinion. And frankly, that difference of opinion was shown by the votes. That was not a 4-1 vote. It was a 3-2 vote.
Does this have anything to do with the election and the fact that the Republicans lost that election and she won? Is this sour grapes?
I don't think so.
You said job change. Can you explain that? What job?
Approximately a year ago, the town commissioned a study to look at the jobs being done by the first selectman, the director of administrative services, and to look at spreading those jobs around. By changing those jobs, we created 2 new positions and reallocated the responsibilities. So we turned around and actually retroactively to last July, we raised 2 people's salary, and created this other position, which I understand has since been filled.
So less, she's doing less. is what you're saying.
She's doing less.
Where's the disparity? I mean, is there a situation in town where you're bleeding money that you have to make it up? So, I mean, I know a lot of towns are strapped for money. It's easier. I mean, is there any particular, I mean, are you worse off this year than last year or 2 years ago?
I wasn't sitting on the Board of Selectmen at that point. I don't believe so. This was not driven by the dollars and cents per se, other than me having to face the residents and say, we changed lowered somebody's job responsibilities and we didn't cut their pay.
Any idea how that $38,000 will get used moving forward that's being cut?
That hasn't been decided yet. That would be in next year's budget.
But can you honestly say if a Republican was in her position, this would happen? Honestly say that?
I can't say whether it would or would not have happened. In my opinion, it was not about the person or the person or the political affiliation. It was totally about the person, about the job.
She says a cut like this is unprecedented, even saying that there's a 26% raise for a Republican first selectman.
Yeah, she's correct on that. Let me answer that question.
Yes,
so years ago, the chairman of the Democratic Party actually was the deciding vote to give the first selectman at that time the raise. That was a bipartisan vote as well. This was a bipartisan vote. I'm the chairman of the Simsbury Republican Party, and I voted against the measure, and I disagreed with my colleagues, but we all voted our conscience that night. So to say that this is partisan is absolutely ridiculous. And I feel bad for her. I know she feels very personal about it, but it's anything but personal.
Is Simsbury losing a great leader?
I don't know if we're losing a great leader. I don't know if she was going to resign or not. I don't know if she was going to continue to run again after that. I mean, again, I have a lot of respect for Mary. She served in this town. She served in this town when I was about this tall. So it's a pleasure to serve alongside her. I wish her the best, and we'll continue to move forward. The five of us, including Lisa, we've got a lot of important things to tackle. Somebody got murdered in this town a week ago. We're in a press conference on that right now. There's been no update from the police department in 6 days. We've got other pressing issues that we've got to work on in this town.
Well, that's probably because they don't want a press conference. And we've asked for that.
That might be an issue.
We've done a couple of stories on that.
I know you guys have done stories on it, but it's
I'm not sure now's the
troubling.
time to discuss what
When
we do
will
and
the new
uncover.
first selectman be decided when you?
The charter states that we may select amongst our remaining members, and it has to be a member of the same party.
And you have to have a special election.
No, we do not
You
have
do
a
not.
special
No, we
election.
do not.
And again,
And there's 6 months left on the term after January 2nd, is that correct?
no,
Actually,
it runs until December 7th.
Oh,
So is
So
it
we're-
automatically Lisa then, or?
No, not necessarily. We've got to sit down, and the five of us, we have to put it on the agenda, we have to properly notice to the public, we have to get input. The Democratic Party has an opportunity to put up a nomination for that, and then the five of us decide, and again, may select from amongst our remaining members.
So the 5 town councilors actually are the ones who vote?
Board of Selectmen, yes.
How do you guys think you're going to be able to work with the Democratic first selectman after this?
Very well, just like we have in the past.
have.
Most of our motions, 99%, 98%, are unanimous motions.
As
They're
we
not
said,
partisan.
this initiative that, we're talking about now was brought about by the first selectman, and we have been studying this for months. We hired a professional consultant who did an in-depth analysis of all of the administrative positions. What came out of that was an increase in salary for some of the administrative officers who now have increased duties. We added a position to handle increasingly difficult healthcare issues and pension benefits, all of which I think is a good thing for the town. I mean, our motivation here was to do what's best for the town. And part of that is not to leave this gap in the salary into the next budget year.
So you took the 38,000 away from her and kind of spread it out amongst other
Absolutely.
people?
That's exactly what happened. So,
You said a moment ago you weren't sure how it was going to get spent.
well, we have this new position.
We're talking about
not.
it's a cross-section of switching over from one fiscal year to the next.
Yes.
So dollars for dollars, there has not been a decision to precisely what those monies will be in the next fiscal year, but that money was added to the salaries in this fiscal year. And so
We're actually
personally,
short this year.
personally for me, it just, and I've said this a number of times, it came down to the inability to justify paying 2 people to do one job.
I've heard 2 things. A moment ago, you said that there was an issue with the budget, and then you said you weren't sure how it was going to get spent. Now we're hearing it is getting spread around.
hasn't been spent. It's
How
not
is
next
it? So how is the $38,000 going to be spent?
Well, it
We haven't
hasn't been
decided
spent
yet.
yet because we haven't done next year's
How
budget.
will it get spent?
Well, we don't know that
You guys
until
can
we
all
see
come
the
back,
budget.
and when we sit in our budget workshops, you can all be present to.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, that's
Our
right.
town charter says
Last
that
question.
the first selectman's salary is set with the town budget. That's what we're doing. The only reason for the July 1st date was that the charter says that the first selectman's budget is annualized into the town's budget. That's it. No political, nothing to do with the election, and nothing else. It's simply a matter of not building into the mill rate and having the citizens of Simsbury pay for this again when we have already filled those positions and increased salaries across the board.
Did you anticipate she might leave when you guys took this vote? Is
Not
this
at
a
all.
surprise?
And I would
not.
say this is a sad day for the town.
Yeah.
There's much that we've accomplished together, and it is a very sad day for our community. It was a difficult meeting that we went to on December 8th, and we've had comments and conversations with people that have agreed and disagreed with us, and we respect everybody's opinion. It really simply, as I said, came down to a shift in responsibilities, and for every hardworking person that's out there, and when we deliberate over every dollar in our budget, we're considering, again, the responsibilities of individuals that perform these tasks.
Which
So-
jobs is the first selectman no longer going to be doing that someone else will be
We've
doing?
already gone through that, and we've got that information.
Yeah, and you guys can all read the
already.
Erdman report. All that information is available in the
So
Erdman
there-
report.
The Board of Selectmen, how many are on the board?
There's 6 total, including the first.
Six total, including the first
Those are the
selectman,
three. Those are the three right there.
including Glassman.
Actually, there's some other ones too.
Okay.
And the vote was to take some of the responsibilities away from the first select woman and create other positions.
That was done in July.
That was done in July.
And just giving you a fair opportunity, Ms. Glassman said you lost the election to her. This is what's going on.
I can't say, and again, you know, whatever you guys will make of this, in my heart, this is nothing to do with that. It has everything to do, when I made this decision, I said, if tomorrow people choose not to vote for me and I no longer serve this town, then that will be what comes of this. But I felt that strongly about this decision, that I had to do what I thought was in the best interest of the town itself. I appreciate and I respect the hard work that Mrs. Glassman has accomplished on behalf of this town. There are many great things that have been done, and we've been extremely proud to be a part of a lot of those things. And we're really looking forward to whomever will come into this position next to serve alongside them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.